Hey, I think we're live.
Sweet. It's been some time.
Let's do this.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
You're watching Tanner's Haunted Secrets
On the Outline Network.
What they say.
Dun, dun, dun.
There's a secret sound hidden deep within the center of the earth. Until you listen closely enough, you can hear it. And it sounds like razors through flesh. We are merely here to turn out the volume.
Somebody better get that yawning totally out of their system right now because we're live and we're back with another wonderful
This
episode
will not
of
be
Tanner's
the-
Haunted Secrets.
This will
What?
not be the first time or the very last time that I yawn on air. I yawned all the way through interviews before and I said, dude, I'm sorry I have 3 kids. I'm tired. And they're like, I understand. Because one of them was multiple of them were awesome mamas and great authors. But I digress. We're back here with Chainer's Haunted Secrets and 2 authors. Let's see what we got.
Well, it's the beginning of the year. I know. We're almost 2 weeks into it, but yeah, we're into this wonderful year of 2026. And excuse me, I have been absolutely working on stuff, trying to get stuff caught up. But the wonderful thing is, we are excited about this season. We just can't wait for everything to happen, and we're going to do something a little different here. We're not doing an interview. We're going to talk about something that's been coming up recently, a lot more and a lot more and a lot more, and I think it's great that we are actually going to be talking about this because it is everything dealing with haunted houses, but it is something that a lot of people didn't even think was going to happen in the beginning years of doing haunts. I mean, yeah, these type of haunts have been able to do this for a while, but it's been a lot more accessible and acceptable to a lot of things. And I'm really grateful because we're going to talk today about the haunted house industry rolling over into other seasons, not just Halloween. If you have a haunt that's really active, it is great because they're going to do every single different type of season that they possibly can. If it's Christmas, if it's going past Christmas into Valentine's Day, and a whole bunch of other things. And it's really great that throughout the years, a lot of haunts have been trying this, and some have had success, and some of them have been like, ah, yeah, it's not what I thought it was, so maybe perhaps we need to not do this. And we're going to talk about a couple of the pros, and we're going to talk about a couple of the cons, because there is a lot of pros and there is a lot of cons that you need to take in consideration when you're doing these. But since we got Valentine's coming up, it is very important that we know that there are haunted houses going to be up for Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day this year does have a Friday the 13th. And then Valentine's Day is, of course, on the 14th. So that's very interesting to have that combo. But the funny thing is, next month, we have Valentine's Day, and then the following month, we have another Friday the 13th. And this Friday the 13th is really wonderful. But once again, it's falling on a Friday, which sets everything up, and it's close enough for a St. Patty's Day haunt to appear. So I've seen them, I've done them, and I am really excited. My haunt personally cannot. We just know that we cannot do a Christmas haunt. We every single time. You love that photo. You smile every single time. No matter how many times I delete that photo, she puts it back on there. But yeah, once again, she does it. She does it every single time, and I think it's wonderful that she does it. But that's one of the things that you're going to have these other haunts that appear, and if you don't have the right setup, you might not be able to do stuff. If you're an outside haunt, you might not be able to do stuff. So there's a lot to think about, and that's what we're going to really dig into. We know that this show is probably going to only be an hour show, but we're going to dig into it. So Friday, why don't you go ahead and give me kind of a idea when you think of holiday haunts, what's a couple of holidays you think of?
Of course, always the October, because that's how we all got started. But my favorite so far has been like the mix of Valentine's and St. Patrick's Day. But then again, I am a very big Leprechaun movie fan. I have them disc and digital. So yeah, but seeing any holiday that they can figure out how to make it happen,
That's
that
true.
would be fun.
That's one of the things, there is a couple haunts that have out of season haunts, and they're not taking over other haunts. They just have the opportunity during it for one weekend during the summer, and they make it work, and that is great. But there are a couple of things that I always want people to think of when people are doing these haunts and they're going out to these haunts. Number one, based on your location is a very good thing. And I say that not just for haunted houses versus the haunted trails. No, it's more along the lines of where you located. If you're here in the United States, we have totally different territories. I mean, right now, I'm in an area that is getting a decent amount of snow. And Friday, what's your weather like?
I'm right now at 56 degrees. But in continuing with the types of haunts, there's the Easter haunts. But also, I agree with you. Think about what's going to happen in your area if you have a haunt. Because kids end up going Easter egg hunting in the snow. And also, you have to figure out how to get to your haunt in the snow. Because snow goes so far out in ways, and sometimes freak blizzards happen at times when it shouldn't even be below 60.
No, that's just
So
luck.
think about that.
Luck.
Definitely.
That's just luck of everything. But yeah, when you're looking at different haunts, you're going to look at different types of haunts, inside, outside. The inside haunts, that is great. Usually they can go and operate with any kind of weather, and that's great. Up till the point that you actually run into a situation like Hell's Dungeon did. Hell's Dungeon, unfortunately, had to not be able to do one of their holiday events this last year, and it was their Christmas event. I think the second night got canceled, and it was because of the weather. And that's something that a lot of people don't think of when you're doing it. He's inside, so why did he close? He closed because the weather was not favorable for people to travel in a snowstorm. So, are you going to take the risk of having to cancel because of the situation that Mother Nature threw at you, and you're like, well, that was horrible? Well, yeah, it's not exactly what you want, but it's something that you got to think of. Yeah, absolutely. Do I encourage people to think about the weather and how everything is going around? Because this is important that you do not want to put at the risk of your guests or your workers. And that brings us up into another section. Is your haunt going to operate during the off season, during a holiday season? Is it going to be profitable? Is there ways that you can get it a little more profitable? Most haunts are going to have to deal with this thing that people know haunts aren't open during this time of the year. So you're going to have to advertise a little more. You're going to have to do a lot more word of mouth, or you're going to have to do so much more than just being, hey, it's Halloween. Google, and then you'll find us. A lot of haunts have to deal with that. But when you're dealing with a out of season haunt, the advertisement, where you put everything, is key points. You absolutely have to take that in consideration, because people ain't going to know that a haunt's open. Number two on that case in point, that is a big thing. With the people that do know that this might happen, are they really thinking about the haunted house industry in the off season? And that's usually not going to be a big yes on that. That absolutely, when you think of Christmas, you don't think of Christmas haunts, for the most part. Now, there are some people that just absolutely are like, absolutely do I think about haunts? And that's fine. But most of the time, they do not. So you've got to figure out what you're going to do. How are you going to get people to really think of your haunt? Because you're going to have to advertise it. You're going to have to talk about it. And just because you're advertising it, talking about it, getting people to think about your haunt, one Christmas song can kick somebody's brain out of anything dealing with the haunted houses. They could look forward to it and just forget about it. It's not nothing. It's usually nothing that anyone has done. It's just more along the lines of,
No.
this is the time of the year that is for this holiday, and haunting is just not what a lot of people think about, and that's okay. We understand as haunters. We go out. Some of us look at Christmas shows. Some of us do this and that. It is just a really packed full time of the year for a lot of people. Me and my wonderful offspring decided that we were going to go to a museum this Christmas season, and we looked at all their Christmas lights. We came back into haunted houses as soon as we walked back in our haunted house, looked at our Christmas tree, and absolutely does it have some of the best Christmas Halloween decorations that I can possibly find. So that there is a case in point right there. It is absolutely not going to be something you focus on. So what's some more hiccups about that you think, Friday? I'm doing my mail, by the
Hiccups.
way.
The staffing.
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to get enough staff to be able to do the haunt? Are you going to be able to get them to work with you on marketing for the staff that are going to help? Like, let as you guys set up the haunt for that particular holiday, have them get their characters in order earlier and get pictures of them and be able to use that for marketing. That way you'll have it for this year and next year as you can move forward. Are you going to have to figure out, does your haunt have a narrative that it follows every year? Like a through story, or is it a different area, multiple different areas making up one haunt?
One of the biggest things when you're thinking about staffing, we talked about this, you got to make your haunt profitable. If you don't make the haunt profitable, that holiday season type thing just might not be what you want or where you want it. Because you can lose money, but most of the haunted houses in this industry are about gaining money. Whatever your reason for doing the haunt, you have to be able to do something that's going to work with you in the correct way. And if you don't, and you lose out money, that's not going to push you in the right direction of where you want to be. And that's a big thing. So are you telling your haunters, hey, I want to do this Christmas event, but we've got to keep it on a low budget. So are we thinking about looking at the haunt and saying, hey, perhaps we could get everybody to volunteer their time? That way, whatever money goes back into the haunt to generate a positive number. And the way I'm looking at a positive number is, you've got to pay for the lighting. You've got to pay for this, the lighting. You've got to pay for the heating in some cases.
The
if
water.
you're in a really warm area, yeah, you got to pay for all them utilities. And then there's another part. There's two parts to insurance when it comes down to haunted houses. And I know no one wants to hear that word sometimes, but insurance is so important to protect you, protect the ones that go through, protect everything. Insurance is a key point. And I absolutely want everybody to think and understand that. So there's two types of insurance. Are you going to go and get the insurance for haunting throughout the year? Are you going to get a contract that only covers your October, and then you're like, you know what, I'm going to try one season of a off season, and then you're going to have to contact your insurance and redo a contract just for those couple of nights? The pricing's not going to be the best sometimes on that, because they want you to stretch it out and they want their money. So that's something that also you got to put in consideration. Think about all these things. You can't just look at somebody and say, I am absolutely sure that I will be okay. No, you should really have insurance and really think about these things. Now, there are so many cons to a haunt in a haunt house, because you got to think of the makeup usage, you got to think of the costumes, you got to think of all the extra supplies. I've always said, if you're thinking about even attempting a haunted house in the off season, you got to make sure you start planning it a year in advance. As soon as that haunt shuts down, boom, you got to go through this entire year and figure out, okay, if I'm doing a Christmas, I'm not doing it this year, I'm doing it next year. That way I can go ahead and get the supplies, get the extra makeup, get a concept, get a this, get a that. Some people absolutely will go on the whim and just go and say, we'll give it a shot, see how it works. It works and it doesn't work. If you have $10,000 and you're starting a brand new haunt,
My recommendation?
huh?
Sorry, I was going to say, I do recommend, if you're going to plan for the year ahead and hit up the years that you're in after holiday sales for all the decorations.
Right. Absolutely. Whenever
Because sometimes you can get those for pennies.
Right. And that's the thing, you know. Sometimes you can go online and be like, I'm going to make it cheap and easy. I'm just going to buy them in the off season, which is fine. But there are so many things to think about in a non-traditional season. Everybody haunts during October. That is the case in point, the primary everything that you need to know is usually done during that time. Am I saying everything is done? No. I'm saying there's a good opportunity that people haunt in October. It makes really no sense for you to operate a haunt in any season other than October and don't do October. Just does not make sense. You're going to get the people that really understand this and that. When you go and you think about these haunts, another thing that's very important to think about is, and I really want a lot of people to think about this one if you are doing one, is what kind of phrasing is going to set you in a different spot. If you go and say the Christmas Nightmare, there's a lot of haunts that use Christmas Nightmare, and that's fine. You can use it. It's just you're going to find other people that use that phrasing too. How about Krampus's Revenge? We all have heard that one too. I'm sure of it. So maybe perhaps come up with something else. Make it interesting, and that's one of the key points right there. You gotta try your hardest. That way people don't look at you and say, oh, well, this one is going to be a little different than somebody else, but we have all the same marketing, all the same name. Now, if you're a haunt owner and you own haunt after haunt after haunt, and you guys all put it as Rotting Tales Revenge, then you can all lock them in together, and that's fine. But once again, if somebody sees Rotting Tales Revenge, then Rotting Tales Revenge, then Rotting Tales Revenge, they're just going to blend in with each other. I've seen this done. It is really, really hard to come up with some stuff sometimes. If you go and you have somewhere about something about Valentine's Day and it is Love is Dark, that's going to be a lot different than Love Bites. Okay, you're still got the love, but you're placing other things. Love is Dark, Love Bites, two different outcomes. Love Bites, you could put it as maybe the vampire thing. Love is Dark, you could
St. Valentine's Revenge.
Right, and there's
Or
a
St.
lot of
Valentine's
things.
Massacre.
Right, and that's the thing. Use what you're doing with that in how you are portraying it and you're doing it together. Like, if it's Love's Dark, then go ahead and see if you guys want to do a blackout event. A lot of blackouts. A lot of people like blackout events. It's hit and miss with me. Just depends. So, like I said, there's always going to be something different. So, Friday, do we want to start talking about these wonderful things called the pros? Because I feel like I'm bringing up a lot of cons, and I'm not bringing up as many pros. So
2 seconds.
1, 2. Anyway, let me start off by saying that some of them,
Okay.
Let me start off by saying one of the pros is that you might be the only one in your area that is doing it. And I can tell you right now.
Yeah, you could be the only one that is within 200 miles.
Right. But I'm telling you right now, you should still do some good marketing. Can't get away from marketing. And that is so much of an important thing right there on this. When you're doing it out of season, people ain't thinking about you. Market.
Definite pro. You and your team get to come up with a Valentine's Day presentation that I guarantee you will be different than other people's, because your group of hunters is different from the ones close to us, and so on.
That's true. One of the pros also is that your haunters get an opportunity to spend a little more time with each other. Usually haunters are a very close-knit group. So you go and you have one haunter that wants to spend time with more haunters, and you have a out-of-season event. By gosh, usually that is a great builder. And it's really important to really know team building.
Yeah, I know.
Now, there are some haunts that are absolutely thinking about doing out-of-season haunts. They just haven't done them yet. I only know of one haunt here in Ohio that operates every single day of the year. And it's because this haunt is actually in what I'm understanding, a arcade. Which I haven't been to it. I'm kind of curious on seeing what it is. But it doesn't do any special theming. It just absolutely exists. It's there. But once again, out of season haunted houses, you're gonna usually find these being about the major holidays and Friday the 13th events. So St. Patrick's Day, I guarantee there's going to be more haunts around St. Patrick's Day this year because it is a Friday the 13th.
Yeah, that does sound awesome. Another pro would be finding out which holidays bring in the most people in your area. Which ones do they like to celebrate more?
So, the one thing I've really found out is when you're doing a holiday haunt, it's hit and miss on a lot of things, but most of the time, Christmas is the biggest one that can bring in the biggest numbers in the out of season. And that's just because you just got out of Halloween, you're not too far away from it, and you got friends and family that have a little extra spending time. And sometimes they already got their Christmas money. You know, you can use the Christmas money on something like this, usually those are the ones that absolutely. But they have found out that if you go and you have a haunt and you do this whole stuff together, the best idea for you to do is find a way to have some kind of a light show. Change up your lighting pattern. Once again, Christmas, twinkling lights, la 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 la. But you're almost guaranteed to find one of two, or if not both characters, the Grinch, or you're going to find Krampus. What's up? Dude, I should have called him. I could have thrown him into this. Oh my gosh. Ugh. I should have done that. Didn't even think about him. You know, he's clear up north, and I actually was not too far away from him today. But yeah. So once again,
We could
this
still
is one
send
of
them a
those.
link.
We could, but we're only going to be on here for like 29 more minutes. By the time we get him in here,
Yeah.
we'll get him in on another show. He's a great person to have. You're going to find
Okay.
more.
How about we do that halfway point thing?
Okay, if we're going to do the halfway point, I was just going to rumble at the end. So I guess we're going to take a break.
Okay, that we can do too.
I don't know what half point
Okay.
you were kind of on top.
Greetings and shabebans. We are the Retro Reductibus Cephala Podcast, a long-form bi-weekly show that celebrates all the things that made growing up awesome.
Well, that sounds good, but I don't know what all those words mean.
I think what Parasite Steve's trying to say is that on Retro Redoctopus, we explore a range of retro goodness, from toys, video games, and movies, to cartoons, and even snacks and school lunches.
Oh.
And we do it all with a positive spin, a slew of killer guests, and some very adult language.
And you know what else is cool?
No.
This crazy show is part of the Door King Podcast Network with new episodes every Tentacle Tuesday.
What's that?
And if waiting 2 weeks for a new episode gives you a sad, know that we drop bonus episodes all the time, like the off-format Crow's Nest and an interview series we call The Brig.
You can listen to Retro Redoctopus on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or any app that's cool enough to carry the only show that celebrates all the things that make growing up awesome.
So, Eve will be back as soon as he can. until then, other pros. You can find out what works better for your haunt and your people. Because, like every other holiday, some people enjoy one holiday more than others. Like, Halloween and Easter are like the best holidays for us because that's the birthdays they're geared for. So they want to go to those type of events more. So your haunt may be better at making a the Easter haunt may pop off better for your haunt than the St. Patty's Day. Or you could have a 420 St. Patty's Day mix. It all depends on what 420 Easter mix. It all depends on what is best for you. Do you guys have a script writing ability? Because it could turn into other activities. Like, I've seen places like Hell's Dungeons and arcades that have other little areas for them to do. They could join in the in on what's happening other than just being like you're out to scare them. You could have them they could join in randomly, let them have their improv as the person just joining the story. And maybe. Okay. I am back. Sorry about that. My internet is being naughty. You could. There are so many ways that you could have a themed haunt. Work on your skills. Work on the strengths of your crew, and have them help you make it happen. Or let's see. Like I said, I am an enthusiast and I am learning as I go. Yay, he's back. I don't know how well it's going, but he's back.
It's going to be as good as it gets for the rest of the night. But yeah.
Oh no.
So 2 for 2 on podcasts. So anyway, different haunts try this. Some haunts absolutely go through and try seeing what they can make different, and they try celebrating a lot of different ways. So yeah, it's one of those things I've seen. Thanks. One of those things that I've seen. Instead of being a Valentine's Day per se, it was more of a situation that had President's Day, which is very interesting. And for some reason, my headset just went yeah. So yeah, but my headset just came back. If you get an opportunity,
Yay.
go out and support your haunted houses. February's got Valentine's Day. March is going to have St. Patty's Day stuff. So I highly recommend for you guys to go out, celebrate these ones, be Christmas or whatever. So Friday, did you have something in the middle that you were trying to figure out to do?
I had actually a couple of questions as a owner of a haunt, and you own a haunt and you volunteer at other haunts. What has been something that you've seen that some haunters have strengths at that could help you be motivated towards wanting to do a holiday haunt, alternate holiday haunt?
In my case, I could not be a haunt that does holiday haunts. I am a outside haunt, so I don't have the protection of having a roof. And being a smaller haunt, it's not reasonable for me to try to get the insurance for another week or whatever, just to send people through conditions that would probably not be the best. So in looking at that, the turnout would not be the best at all. So yeah, I just know at my haunt it's not reasonable. At my friend's haunt, I got own haunts. They do out of season, and it's not all the time that they do it. So it's what makes them do a season for whatever reason. Number one, you got to take in consideration of your heating of that building. Is it going to be heated? Are you going to be able to run it when it's cold? Being Valentine's Day probably would not make the one reasonable because, once again, it's pretty cold. March is pushing it sometimes in that building. And that's something that you guys got to take in consideration. When you're in October, the temperature can be extremely high to extremely low. But when you're doing something in February or March, usually it's a low temperature. So, yeah. That's things that you really have to think about.
It's you don't start thinking about that until you're an adult. What temps the majority of the holidays are
right
in this country.
Right. So,
because it's usually a beautiful spring day here for like certain things, and then I look up north and they're doing the same thing, but the snow is as tall as the child. So
right.
That is one of the hard things to remember, especially if you're going to go visit your buddy's haunts. Right. Take in mind where they are and what type of temps they normally have that year. Because, dude, it's snowing where he is, and it's night. It's a nice temp outside, just cool enough to be comfortable.
Right. And that's just one of those things that you gotta play with. Other haunts, absolutely, but like I said, most of the time, Christmas is the one that a lot of people will go and have a haunt with. It just seems like that makes it so much easier. Not saying that it's easy, just saying Christmas is one of those things that you just shut down the haunt from the regular season, so a lot of things can be done. But yeah. So like I said, go try your hardest. Take some time. Go out to haunts around this season. Go see what kind of haunts are running in your area. I had a whole train of thought for this show, and I tell everybody, we do not script stuff. We don't put stuff. Whatever happens when we're on live happens when we're on live. And unfortunately, I just got some really bad news. So it's nothing that deals with anything with the show, but it's really hard at this time to really focus on anything other than the situational news that I just received.
Do we want to go ahead and end here?
Let me just say that, hey, I appreciate all you guys absolutely out there. I want all you guys to go out, find a haunt, enjoy it, investigate into it. They're always needing haunt actors. They're always needing haunt volunteers. If you guys are a person that loves the haunt house industry as much as I do, let it be a big part of your heart and go into it and see what kind of things are you guys can find out. Maybe it's your favorite type of haunt. Is it the Halloween haunt? Maybe it's a seasonal haunt, Christmas haunt. Maybe it's a Easter, St. Patty's Day, Valentine's Day, President's Day. Nothing is more odd than having somebody on stilts looking like Abraham Lincoln chasing after you with a giant axe. That is something that is so odd, and I've only seen it at once. So just, everybody just take a little time, go out, visit your local haunts. Like I said, Valentine's is coming up. Try convincing this girl that you like. See if you guys can find a haunt. I know Lima area, you got Lafayette Town Hall. They're going to be open not for Valentine's Day, but they're going to be open sometime in the off season. And please, just absolutely, Hell's Dungeon down in Dayton, they're going to be open for Valentine's Day. And I don't know if they're going to do an Easter or not, but there's always the chance of it. So I am so sorry for just absolutely losing my train of thought. But unfortunately,
understandable.
When you're live, it just happens. So I'm going to say my goodbyes.
We send you love too.
And hopefully, go ahead.
Check the Chainers groups. I have added as many of them as I can find. I will add more later. If you can find Valentine's haunts, please add them to the group and share them on your page for others to find.
Right. Absolutely. But I'm going to bid you guys all a great night and go find some of these haunts. So yeah, just go and enjoy some haunts.
Good night.
Good night, guys.
Be safe, everyone.